The legal implications of dark web marketplaces and the AlphaBay takedown. 1. The rise of dark web commerce and its global scale. The dark web has emerged as a significant facilitator of illicit global trade, enabled by anonymity-preserving technologies and cryptocurrencies. Unlike conventional commerce, dark web platforms such as AlphaBay provide a decentralized market for contraband, from narcotics and weapons to counterfeit identification and data. With annual revenues estimated in the hundreds of millions of dollars, AlphaBay operated at a scale rivaling traditional e-commerce, yet remained outside regulatory oversight due to technical obfuscation and jurisdictional challenges. Footnote: this section introduces the structure, scale, and function of AlphaBay as a digital black market operating in defiance of international laws. 2. Technological infrastructure, TOR and cryptographic tools. Dark web marketplaces are rendered viable through anonymity networks like the Onion Router, TOR, and digital currencies such as Bitcoin. These technologies obscure the identities of both buyers and sellers by encrypting communications and masking IP addresses. TOR was originally developed by U.S. government entities for secure communications, but its repurposing for criminal commerce exemplifies the dual-use nature of privacy technologies. Coupled with cryptocurrencies, which allow pseudonymous financial transactions, these tools create an ecosystem resistant to conventional policing. Footnote: this section explains how encryption and network anonymization support illicit trade in defiance of traditional legal frameworks. 3. Criminal commodification, drugs, identity fraud, and arms. The inventory of dark web markets includes counterfeit documents, personal data, weapons, and narcotics, commodities that are illegal across virtually all jurisdictions. These items are often advertised with user reviews, photographs, and lab test claims, mimicking legitimate consumer marketplaces. The economic model mirrors mainstream e-commerce, transforming street-level transactions into globalized supply chains for illegal goods. This commodification of crime reduces overhead, maximizes reach, and creates a scalable business model for organized digital crime. Footnote: this section explores how illicit goods are marketed and distributed using structures borrowed from legal online marketplaces. 4. Psychological drivers and operational ethics of operators. While some operators of dark web marketplaces claim ideological motivations, such as libertarian resistance to government control, most become driven by profit and operational ego. As revenue escalates, initial claims of civil disobedience give way to commercial expansionism. Operators view themselves as entrepreneurs rather than criminals, and often adopt corporate-like branding and customer service tactics. However, the psychological allure of anonymity and perceived invincibility frequently contributes to operational complacency, which ultimately enables law enforcement infiltration. Footnote: this section discusses the motives and mental framing used by marketplace operators to rationalize their conduct and sustain their operations. 5. Law enforcement challenges in digital forensics. Policing the dark web is complicated by encryption, jurisdictional fragmentation, and the sheer volume of data. However, successful operations such as the AlphaBay takedown demonstrate the evolving capabilities of forensic teams. Law enforcement employed advanced metadata tracing, digital footprint reconstruction, and administrative login captures to prove culpability. The failure of operators to fully compartmentalize their online identities, even reusing usernames or emails, provided critical leads. Furthermore, device seizure and real-time monitoring enabled prosecutors to demonstrate intent and administrative control. Footnote: this section outlines investigative strategies and vulnerabilities that law enforcement leveraged to dismantle AlphaBay. 6. Global cooperation and legislative limitations. The transnational nature of cybercrime necessitates cooperative frameworks between law enforcement agencies across multiple jurisdictions. In AlphaBay's case, coordinated actions across Southeast Asia, Europe, and the United States were essential. Yet many regions, particularly in Southeast Asia, lack laws authorizing lawful digital surveillance or forensic data retention, creating havens for cybercriminals. Without harmonized legislation and mutual legal assistance treaties, dark web operators exploit legal asymmetries to evade capture and prosecution. Footnote: this section highlights the challenges posed by legal discrepancies between nations in addressing transnational cybercrime. 7. The role of cryptocurrency in obfuscating finance. Cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin serve as the financial backbone of dark web economies. Their pseudonymous structure frustrates traditional anti-money laundering enforcement, and while blockchain analysis has improved, most transactions remain difficult to attribute. Wallet addresses, QR codes, and decentralized exchanges make it possible to execute high-value transfers without banks, government oversight, or traceable identifiers. Thus, cryptocurrency functions both as payment and as a laundering mechanism. Footnote: this section analyzes the role of cryptocurrency in anonymizing transactions and facilitating illegal enterprise. 8. Operational failures and legal consequences. Despite efforts at operational security, AlphaBay's administrator made multiple digital hygiene errors, including use of a legacy Hotmail account and cross-platform usernames, that eventually allowed law enforcement to establish identity. Once apprehended, evidence of administrative logins and possession of cryptographic root keys provided incontrovertible proof of intent and control. This marked a pivotal precedent in cyber law enforcement, demonstrating that even sophisticated criminals can be unmasked through persistent digital forensics. Footnote: this section details how operational lapses led to legal accountability in a landmark cybercrime prosecution. 9. Conclusion: the jurisprudential response to decentralized criminal networks. The takedown of AlphaBay illustrates the convergence of technological innovation, criminal enterprise, and law enforcement response. While the marketplace epitomized a sophisticated use of anonymizing tools and decentralized finance, its dismantling proves that no system is beyond reach when evidence-based strategies are combined with international cooperation. Moving forward, legislative reform and technological adaptation will be essential in countering the ever-evolving architecture of digital criminality. Footnote: this section concludes by emphasizing the need for an adaptive and globally coordinated legal response to digital criminal marketplaces.